Hey guys, welcome back to Flying in Space with Planet Head. Um, Today I have an update or uh, a new thing. If you watched my last sad video where I was not able to pick up the minerals that I had because I didn't have or the kill that I got, um, I spent about an hour last night moving to and from the haulers that I destroyed, picking up titanium and pyrite with my Imicus since I didn't have a freighter. Um, but before I went to bed, I used it as a positive, um, and I built my first cruiser while I was asleep. And then I remembered I'm not trained into cruiser, so I skilled that up to low levels. So without further ado, um, oh, uh, you don't need to know this, but there was a data site here. I just did a nice little run there while I was waking up. It's nice to be able to wake up, grab a cup of coffee, and do a data site or a relic site to wake yourself up. And let's pull her up here. Now, I did actually pull it up, and I think this is kind of cool. I don't know any of you guys who watched the original Star Trek, the New Generation. If I remember correctly, the first time the Romulans showed up, uh, it it was like whoa because they uncloaked and they had these massive ships. And whenever I pulled up, when I booted up today, I wanted to see if I could actually get into the mauler that I made. Um, this happened, and it was just kind of cool. I hope it happens again. It's just the way whenever you boot up the new ship you're in, it always pops up first. Um, and so let's see here, make active. Whee. Yeah, see, it's like boom. It's like, and it just reminds me of that scene back in the day. Um, my first cruiser with this character. Um, it's been a long time since I've flown a Mauler. I think I tried one out a little while ago, maybe last series, but I didn't do it a whole lot. I remember whenever I used to play in Nullsec back years and years ago, was I built a Mauler, and I think I was the only guy there that had one. I just think they look cool. In general, I think they're a fairly, just looking at them, might be a fairly simple ship to fly. I think I talked about a couple episodes too. They are kind of the big brother in my mind to, let's see here, the Punisher, because they have very similar stats. If you look, the Punisher, its special abilities are reduction in small energy turret activation cost, which gives you more ammo, and then it gets you a 4% bonus to all armor resistances per level. Whereas the Mauler, show info, 5% bonus to turret damage. So it doesn't give you more ammo, but it gives you more damage. And then it gives you that 4% bonus to armor resistances. So obviously, you probably want to go armor tanked with it. Um, I did look at it briefly, and I was kind of intrigued. Um, let's just see here. So the fitting slots for it. Pull it up here. Got 5 high slots up top and 6 low slots. So most of the time your armor tanking goes into your low slots, so it throws that in there. You also need 1 or 2 slots, in my opinion, to boost your damage with heat sinks. So yeah, that's there. Now, whether or not you want to go with long range or short range guns is important. You're going to be doing more damage per level, so that's good. And then you got 3 mid slots, so not a whole lot here. You'd probably be throwing in a micro warp drive, and maybe something there to up your cap, or if you were doing PvP, something to webify or warp hold down. This is just my first impressions. I remember whenever I flew it before, I had no idea what I was doing. So I'm getting a little bit better at kind of seeing a general gist. Doesn't mean it's the final end all be all of what you want to do with it. And then The biggest question for me that I've run into, and maybe you guys have some ideas, is rigs. So I was messing around trying to fit out the coercer that I had, and I ended up just going with damage application because I needed it. Um, and I kind of think of uh, three possibilities for rigs in generalizations. Maybe I'm wrong with this. And I think you have to decide on those three. Number one, do you accentuate the positives of the ship? So this one does more damage and it's armor tanked. So do I do the positives? Do I boost up its damage dealing, its rate of fire, that sort of thing? Or do I boost up its tanking ability? The second one would be, do I fill the gaps that it doesn't have? So let's say I was uh, wanting to shield tank this for some stupid reason. I may want to fill in the EM damage resistance or something along those lines. Maybe it doesn't, I haven't checked it out. Maybe its capacitor levels are too low. Maybe I want to fill that gap up. Um, and then last but not least, and it's what I ended up doing with the coercer, I went with what I needed. Maybe that's number one. I needed more damage to do what I needed to do. What do you need to do? What is that ship made to do? And do you use those uh, uh, rig slots to do that item better or get to the point where you can do it? And I'm about to sneeze, so if I sneeze, I apologize. Yeah, you needed to see that. And I'm not going to edit it out. There's probably another one coming. Uh, so that's the question. Now, the one negative I don't have, and I need to put that on my shopping list here. Um, where is my notepad? Where's my notepad? Is that my notepad? Fine, I'll pull up my notepad. And this was the mistake I made last time. I need to update my shopping list so the next time that I go through to I thought I had here corp learning, daily plan, fun stats, goals, info stats, younger goals. I think it was down here. Yeah, I'll just make up a shopping list. Um, New note, shopping list. So if you watched the last video where I made the mistake of not having the um, the industrial ship to move the minerals that I'd gotten, um, that is because I forgot to buy a blueprint or at least just a ship to bring out here. You don't need much. I just needed like a Nurse or something like that so I could haul a little bit more than 400 M3s. So BPO, BPC, um, industrial ships, and then I need medium rigs. This is just so I don't forget next time I'm in. Every time I go into system, I can look. When I look, if you've watched some of my previous videos, I look to see what's available in the system. And then I also need salvager. Either BPOs or BPCs, or just the parts. In the system, I can actually buy some salvager drones, the BPC for that in this actual system. But I'm an Omega, so that I'm sorry, I'm an Alpha, so I can't fly the salvager drone, so it does me no good. So that's that. Um, so how do I fit this out? Well, this is probably the most fun that I have, especially the last 6 months that I playing kind of a loosey goosey style where I'm not power gaming. I most of the time just use what I found. Um, I don't have any rigs, so it'll be limited. Uh, what is my goal? Well, what I want to look for is what do I want to do with the ship. Here, I'm trying to do. more damage, more when I'm ratting out in these asteroid belts to try to get this Mauler better than the coercer that I have. So what does the coercer do? Let's take a look at her. I actually have to post a video. I did do a fitting of the coercer. Maybe I did put that up. I think I did. Um, but I'll just show it to you here. Where's my coercer? Oh, scroll down. There we go. Show info. I don't need the filters out. There we go. Make active. So the upgraded coercer that I have, I showed the making of it, but I made a video of actually blowing up the battleships. And I'm able to do it. It does take some time, but it is worthwhile. It's what I was able to kill those haulers with. This is a really good base ship for just basic stuff. If you notice here, it's got the 7 guns. I went with the Nosferatu. There's some upgrades that I can do with this. I do have one heatsink on here. I have not scavenged a heatsink, nor do I have the BPO. Gotta do that. Hold on. Notepad. BPO. Heatsink. Just so I can make them. I should be able to scavenge more. Thank you. There we go. Goals to do while I'm at work this week, or in between work. I'm about to restart my work week this week. Long story short, I'm able to get 182 DPS from this, and my range is at 7,000. So thinking about it in my head, and this is just my general impressions, the Mauler's not going to go as fast as the Destroyer. It's a cruiser, it's a larger ship. So I'm going to need to make sure I can get my speed up. This says 293, so 300 meters per second. Or I can go with longer range. Range is at 7,000, 8,000. So I'm looking for at least 10,000. The other bonus to the Mauler is that I think, if I'm not mistaken, it can carry 3 drones. So what I can do is I can set the drones, hopefully, on the frigates and the destroyers and destroy those while I'm taking out the battleships to start off with. Where currently with the Courser, I gotta take out those frigates and the destroyers first, the escort ships, so that because they're the ones that can actually hit me, so I can kind of do double duty on that. So this is actually a lot more interesting, a lot more stuff to work with now with the Mauler. So we've got 182, we got a 293 down here, and an 8 kilometer fall off range. So let's go back over to the Mauler, and now here's the big fun part. I'm only going to be using either items that I make or items that I've scavenged. Well, the stuff that I brought here were all for frigates and destroyers, so I don't have anything that I can really make. But I have been keeping all my medium level stuff that I've been able to scavenge off of ships. So the Mauler that I make is going to be just a junk pile. And I named it Morristown because I was originally born in Morristown, New Jersey. I've lived in over 40 different towns and cities and places all over the United States in my life. And I'm not joking, it's over 40. But Morristown is where I was born. And New Jersey's known as a junk pile. I actually like New Jersey. I've only visited there. We left there when I was a kid, but people always say that it's just a kind of a junky place. I like New Jersey, especially a lot of different places. It's also called the Garden State, but so I called it the Morristown because it's going to be filled with a bunch of junk. Inventive. So let's see what we got. Got our inventory here and item hanger. got all our BPOs. Oh, might as well just go to filter out the medium stuff. Medium slot. So this is all medium level stuff going on. And oh, medium. I went there. Medium. Let's go top high level first. Obviously, the thing we're going to want to do is blow stuff up. So I always think go for the things that you do the most that accentuate it first. So let's go with the guns first. We'll go high slotted. What have I saved here? So I've got some medium. I've got 3 heavy anode particle streams, heavy afocal masars, 2 of those. I've got a short range pulse masar that I've been able to hold on to. Boy, that's it. That's all I've found so far. Huh. I've been killing more battleships than other ones. So I've got, and I've got heavy modulated. So I think the anodes are better than the masars. Let's find out here. So attributes. Some meta 3 and the afocals. I think are meta 2s. I thought. Oh, meta level 1. All right, fine. We will go with the heavy anode particle stream. Now, I'm not sure the biggest difference between a masar versus a particle stream, but we're going to go with the particle stream first. Let's just see what happens here. And then I'll throw in these masars. So this will actually be a good test to see what the difference is between the two of them. Oh, last but not least, just to show you here, I'm barely skilled into this. I did throw the skills in last night so I could pull this up today. I'm currently I'm a level 1 Amar cruiser. I've got skilled into my plan up to level 4. And then also my energy level, medium energy level turrets I threw in there, and that's up to level 2 right now. So I've got those scheduled to go up to level 4. I do want to clear out this drone level 5 because I do want to start flying the Dragoon, see how that does, and that'll be a video maybe early next week. And that'll give me a lot of more options whenever I go back to main system to try out some Tristans and some Galente ships. But so my skills, the one thing I have to remember is my skills for the ship will upgrade as my cruise ability goes up, and that two of the bonuses for the ship are the bonus to armor tanking and the damage dealing. So let's go ammo, and we're going to find out what the base damage is of this. Now I remember 180 was what I was doing with the coercer. Now I've only got 2 medium multi-frequencies, so I'm going to throw those onto the masar just to keep them the same grouping, make it easier to fly. So that gives me 49 DPS, and then I've been able to scavenge out either 3 X-rays or 3 radios. Let's go ahead and compare. So I can't remember. The more you do this, the better you get at it. And then compare the X-rays. Show info, compare. There we go. So as far as the capacitor need bonus, minus 25 and minus 15, okay. EM damage, more EM damage from the X-rays. Thermal damage, 8 hit points. So it looks like the X-rays do more thermal and EM, but they do need more capacitor. And then the range, so the X-rays are a shorter distance, whereas the radios are my long-range ones. So I'm thinking I'm going to go with the X-rays because I'm already going short distance with the Mazars here, so why not double that up? As I get more scavenged stuff, I'll throw more in there. It's a great way to try things out that you normally wouldn't have. Back in the day, I would have just thrown multi-frequencies on there and rolled with it. This, I can try out the different types of guns and the different types of stuff. Nowhere near am I saying I'm going to stick with these, but it will definitely. I'm going to do the X-rays here. So that bumps me up to 116 damage with no bonuses, no heat sink, and no uh, rigs. So the only other thing I want to do is just to get the base feel for the damage that I can do is throw in my drones. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. And I did make some Acolyte drones. I did remember to get that blueprint for gosh darn sakes. So I'm just going to throw those in here. And it can only hold 3. So we're going to put 3 in there. That bumps me up to 141. So I'm only 40 points less than the coercer that I have, but I can take more damage. Now I think I want to get over 175. That'll give me the damage dealing for the battleships that I want to kill. The unfortunate part here is I don't have any heat sinks. I don't think so. I haven't been able to scavenge any of those out. So that's too bad. I could take one off the coercer and throw it on here. Let's see what that does for me. So we'll go ahead. I hate unfitting a ship to fit another one, but sometimes I just want to see what it'll do, and maybe I'll try this out. So I'm going to make that active. And then I'm going to throw this heatsink over into the Mauler. There we go. Now notice here too is I don't have a whole lot of power grid going on. Let's drop this heatsink in here. Do have a lot of capacitor ability. Heatsink bumped me up to 163. So I'm thinking if I went with the second heatsink, and then as my skills go up, I should be able to do more damage for the cruiser as well. Because not only will my cruiser skill go up, that gives me that 0.5% for damage bonuses, but also I've got the medium gunnery laser whatever skill in there. So this should easily get over 180. The question is, once I break that, how much more can I do? And then the faster I'll be able to kill the rats that are out there, and just get better at flying the ship. I think the end-all, be-all of the game is either to find your niche. For me, it isn't ratting. Ratting is an end means to an end. My ultimate goal would be to do some PvP and PvE fighting, or PvP and fleet fighting. But that's a long ways away, and I like to build my own ships, so I like to do a lot of little things to get to where I want to be. I know a lot of people just like the PvP, they'll buy their ships. Other people just like to build stuff. I like to do a lot of little things and then find one thing I really like to do. I like to play a lot of little games, video games, and I like to play Eve. So there's the base right there, 163.7. Let's do medium slots, see what all we got as far as our items. Now, always, once I fill out the spot things that I need, now I can armor tank this. I almost always want to figure out the, and I sound like I know what I'm doing, I don't. I then go for my propulsion. You're almost always going to need propulsion on your ship. Doesn't matter. You got to close that space. You got to range yourself. The question is, do I do micro warp drive or do I do afterburner? And that was a big question for me with the coercer. Here, I want to look at my distances. So how far do these fire out with the stuff? I'm getting 22 kilometers there and 31 kilometers. And my drones are ranged at about 25 kilometers right now. I had maybe even 30. I don't know if I've upped those skills at all. They're the base drone levels. Oh, that's another one too. Is once I get to my drone level 5, I can do the drone interfacing, which will help my DPS here. Um, Big changes, big upgrades over the next like week or so. um, so let's see here. Medium slots. I'm Since I'm looking at that, most of the time when I'm warping into these belts, I'm warping in anywhere between 10 kilometers and 40 kilometers off of what I'm trying to kill. With an afterburner, I think I can close that enough. So I'm just going to go with the afterburner from now, because then I don't have to keep my micro warp drive on to balloon up. Now I use my micro warp drives for my exploration ships. I've learned that trick. Um, but yeah, we'll just go with that. Now I can start working on these. Now this is where it gets interesting because I've got so many slots down here that I can do. I would definitely want to keep one of these slots open for my another heatsink. I could possibly do some drone damage application, but I've only got 3 light drones. How much would that actually help? I don't know, but definitely would want to go with another heatsink. But the rest here could basically be my tanking off the top of my head. So we'll just go down here and take an eye on low slot. And then I'll come back and look at the middle slots here. So I could throw in a overdrive injector. How much room does this? 480. Okay, I was just looking at the space there. So low slots. Now, this is something I haven't done a whole lot with since I came back, so this will be a big learning thing for me over the next day or so. Do I throw the armor on there, or do I go with uh, resistances? My first impression is to go with armor because I'm going to be getting the resistances off the bonuses of the ship. But do I just up the resistances to ultra high levels? I know I'm only going to be going up against EM and thermal damage 99% of the time, so why don't I just go with that? I'm currently at 52 and 38, so my first inclination is to fill that little gap right there, the 38%. Let's drop if this is a scavenge damage control that I've gotten. So that bumps me up to 58 and 46. So how much did that help me out? Raise me 6 and 8%. Then I could throw in a thermal damage armor protection. Do I go with armor hardeners or do I go with membranes? If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure the membranes are your passive and your hardeners are your active. I always like to go passive first because my ammunition is the my capacitor, and if I'm going active, then I'm lowering my ammunition. I'm not saying this will be the end all, but I like to go with that first. And do I have any thermal? I do. I have a compact thermal energized membrane. So let's see what that does here. That bumps me up to 64%. Still got a lot of room here. And let's just go with an EM. Why not? There we go. So I've still got some room here to work with. I would want to go with another heatsink. And then I could throw on some armor here if I've got the room. Let's see here. I've got 400 crystalline here. Oh, no, no, no. Now there's the question. Do I do more armor or do I do armor repairing? Let's see what the armor repair does. So still got some room. So my last slot here most likely would be for another heatsink. Actually, we can simulate that. No, I'll wait. um, good, good, good. The unfortunate part is while I've been talking too much here, I've noticed that 2 other people have come into the system. So I can't really go out and test fly this, right now at least. Now the middle slots here I could use for increasing my capacitor or increasing my capacitor recharge rate. All depends on what I have in stock. We're going to the storeroom and seeing what we've got. So this is my mid slots. Now I've got a medium compact cap battery. This has always been interesting to me because when you increase the size of something like your shields and things like that, it usually also increases your ability to gain that back. So let's see if we can fit on a battery here. That's cool. We still got a little bit of room. And I'm just going to fill this out. We're just going to get something that we can start off with. Now this is a cap booster, so that would be active. Or we've got a recharger. Now let's just see here if I remember correctly. Metal level 1, capacitor recharge rate bonus of 17.5. Yeah, why not? Let's see what happens there. Can we get it on? So I think we've got enough room here to fit on another heatsink when I do get one. So not too bad, not too shabby. I'm almost up to the same damage that I was doing. And my range is actually a lot more. I've almost tripled the range of my ship guns. And I can take damage, whereas I wasn't able to do it with the Courser. Oh my gosh, I've been talking about this fit for like 30 minutes. So yeah, that's the basic fit of a scavenged Mauler. And this is actually some of the most fun I can have. I have more fun doing this because you only have what you can use. So I'm going to roll with that. Unfortunately, I can't take it out right now to see what all I can blow up. But maybe I'll make a video of that either later on today or tomorrow once I get up and rolling. We'll see how this first test flight goes. Hope you guys have a great day. As you can tell, I'm having a lot of fun. I got those blueprint copies last week. I'm going to be doing a lot of this. So hopefully I'll get a lot more equipment too. But if you got any ideas or any upgrades, please feel free to pop them in here. Or we've got the Five Bones chat. Had a couple guys drop in already. Or you can just mail me. I've gotten a lot of mails lately. If I can't get back to you quickly, please. I'm sorry. I am rolling into my work week. So I'll be a little bit busy over the next week. But I'll be popping down some videos because I have a feeling I'm going to have a lot of content for myself, which I like to record that. And you guys have a great week. Fly safe, fly dangerously, fly however you want. Alrighty. Bye-bye.